Euro USD. I confirmed, or I sent out an analysis which it looks fairly similar to the gold chart, doesn't it? Very similar. Now, what is expected on the Euro USD? What is the number one thing which drives currency market?
The European Central Bank is planning to raise the interest like
Monetary
2 times.
policy. Absolutely. Well done, Stoyan. So if you look at the yields on the global markets, we have the global yields. You can see that on the chart, you can see the United States, the UK interest rates. On the short end and the long end of the yield curve, for example, we have the 2-year Treasury yield, and we have the 3-year Treasury gilt in the UK because it's called gilt, and also we have the US 10-year and the UK 10-year. And in the past 1 year, the United States of America government bond yields were leading the market. They offered the highest return for investors for their money. It's called the risk premium, the yield. But recently, since the Fed started to slow down with the rate hikes, and the UK just stepping up and increasing interest rate even further, it's going to change the level playing field. It's going to put the UK into a competitive advantage against the United States of America, which means that the gilt yields, or the yields of the gilts in the UK, are going to go higher than the yields in the United States of America. Now, what is it going to mean for investors? If they get a better opportunity, a higher yield, a higher return in the UK, are they going to still invest in the US bond market?
They might turn to Europe.
Exactly. The reason for this is because they have much better opportunities. Even if it's 0.5% to 1%, that's even higher yields. They're investing billions of dollars and billions of pounds and euros. And if they can catch that extra risk premium, that extra 0.5%, that means millions of dollars when it comes to the profit and loss. So even from the carry trade, they can profit huge amount. So of course, they're going to look at the better investment opportunities. If the yields are higher in the UK and expected to continue to increase, as opposed to the US, where the interest rate hike cycle is going to, end in June, of course, they're going to look somewhere else. And this is why I'm looking at long-term long opportunities, or medium-term long opportunities on the euro US dollar. So you can see that the trend is already crystallized in the technical analysis because investors are turning their attention to the UK and Europe, and the ECB is expected to increase interest rate further than the US. So Europe is increasing, US is decreasing. And what it crystallizes on the chart is that the euro is getting favored as opposed to the US dollar. So right now, as with gold, the Euro USD is at an important junction because we just reached another year-to-date high, and you can see that we have two possible entry opportunities. The first one is right now, or the second one is expected that Euro is to come down a little bit lower to retest the previous, to create a new higher low on the Euro USD chart. And you can see that we have many confirmations, a few confirmations that price is going to come back to revisit 1.091 euro versus dollar. We have a strong support and resistance level. We have the bottom of the ascending chart. But this is the least likely scenario that I'm expecting, but never say no or never say never, because there is a chance. But if you look closely at the current price level, we have more confirmations right here that price is going to edge a little bit higher, even break the daily pivot and continue to create a new higher high. So I'm buying from the current price level, place the stop loss just below the yesterday's high and last week's low, and expecting price to continue higher. If we see a big fat candle which breaks through the pivot, that is going to be the confirmation that price is going to continue higher. But if you see a rejection from the weekly pivot, bad news. We're going to have to look for other entry opportunities at a lower price level. So any questions about the Euro USD trade setup?
Yes, Thomas, when you analyzing the forex and the dollar is involved in the couple that you analyzing, like in this case euro US dollar, do you usually look at the dollar index?
I don't have to look at the dollar index. I follow the macroeconomics behind it. When I see two countries, Europe, for example, in this example, and the US, and I just have to observe the yields, and I don't need to look at the dollar because I'm going to know that before the dollar is getting weaker, I know exactly why is it getting weaker. What do you think is the reason why I'm expecting dollar to be weaker?
From because the ECB is going to raise the interest rate in May, June, and July.
Exactly. So when they're increasing the interest rate, the market is going to favor the euro against the dollar. But those people who follow purely the DXY, the dollar index, are they going to be late with the move? Because by the time the move has already happened, they just looking at the chart, oh, DXY is going up, I should buy. By the time they look at the chart, we are already in the trade. No.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I look at the early signs and I build up my macro strategy. So long story short, we talked about the possibility of gold to increase, which we already entered into a position, and a longer term or mid-term Euro USD trade.